諦めない心君とならば頑張れる無駄なことはないよ上を向いて笑おう一度君の時だから
分かったいいから黙っとけ
Toru Honda has always been fascinated by the story of the Chinese Zodiac that her beloved mother told her as a child. However, a sudden family tragedy changes her life and subsequent circumstances leave her all alone. Toru is now forced to live in a tent, but little does she know that her temporary home resides on the private property of the esteemed Soma family. Stumbling upon their home one day, she encounters Shigure, an older Soma cousin, and Yuki, the prince of her school. Toru explains that she lives nearby, but the Somas eventually discover that her well-kept secret of being homeless when they see her walking back to her tent one night. Things start to look up for Toru as they kindly offer to take her in after hearing her situation. But soon after, she is caught up in a fight between Yuki and his hot-tempered cousin Kyo. While trying to stop them, she learns that the Soma family has a well-kept secret of their own.
花になりたいのですどんな時もずっと
Number 9
会った頃から善はかっこいいよ
Although her name means Snow White, Shirayuki is a cheerful red-haired girl living in the country of Danbarun, who works diligently as an apothecary at her herbal shop. Her life changes drastically when she is noticed by a silly prince of Danbarun, Prince Araji, who then tries to force her to become his concubine. Unwilling to give up her freedom, Shirayuki cuts her long red hair and escapes into the forest, where she is rescued from Raji by Senwistalia, the second prince of a neighboring country, and his two aides. Hoping to repay her debt to the trio someday, Shirayuki sets her sight on pursuing a career as a court herbalist in Sen's country, Clarinas.
Number 8
ラブエンゲージ
A normal high school boy, Kisaragi Ryuji's peaceful life is turned into an adventure by the return of his second cousin, Eriko. Ryuji and Eriko seize a relic box from a black broker. In the box, they find a red dragon girl, Rose. In order to protect Rose from the black organization, Ryuji decides to fight using his power as a relic handler.
Number 7
今度こそメアド教えてくれる
Aobariku has just transferred to a new high school because of his father's job, and things aren't quite what he expected. The headmaster's secretary controls the school while espousing the virtues of academic freedom. The teachers are even stranger than normal teachers, and half the study body is walking around with animal ears on. On the very first day, Riku is unfortunate enough to find himself at the center of the student council's latest event, which has him running for his life. All this on top of the normal high school rigor of popularity contests, crushes, and homework makes it unsure whether Riku will be able to survive this new school.
Number 6.
行きましょう。
そうですね。
For the first time since graduating high school, 30-year-old Moriko Morioka is unemployed, and she couldn't be happier. Having quit her long-standing job of over 11 years, Moriko quickly turns to online games to pass her now plentiful free time. Reinventing herself as the handsome and dashing male hero Hayashi in the MMO Through the Mea, with the pesky societal obligations of the real world out of the way, she blissfully dives headfirst into the realm of the game, where she promptly meets the kind and adorable healer Lily. Befriending each other almost instantly, the two become inseparable just as Moriko herself becomes more and more engrossed in her new life as Hayashi. Eventually, Moriko adopts the reclusive lifestyle in its entirety, venturing out from the safety of her apartment only when absolutely necessary.
Number 5.
と仲良くねって。
Naisha no Tsubomi tells the story of Supermetachivana, a 5th grade student that has to deal with very delicate situations like her mother's pregnancy, her first period, and the weird feeling she's getting when surrounded by boys. When she met Daiki, she started blushing when close to him, and she doesn't know what that feeling is, only to later realize that she, in fact, has fallen in love with Daiki. Each volume tells the story of a different girl with the same name and similar appearance that has to work through the problems that come with early adolescence.
Number 4.
何十年先にも変わらない景色が見られるかな。
そうだな。見られるさ、きっと。
Is there any girl you love? By this question by his friend asked during a school excursion, the protagonist Kaisu Takumi begins to become aware of his interest in the opposite sex. Of course, there are girls around him, for example, his childhood friend Hatano Konomi, his classmate Bisuka Shino, a school idol Shimasu Kakana, etc. However, he himself hasn't noticed his feelings until he is asked this by his friend. He becomes anxious seeing his friend try to find his girlfriend, and he resolves his mind to find a girlfriend during the last summer of his high school life.
Number 3.
この世界にはたくさんの思いが輝いている。
Long ago, all humans lived beneath the sea. However, some people preferred the surface and abandoned living underwater permanently. As a consequence, they were stripped their God-given protection called Ena, which allowed them to breathe underwater. Over time, the rift between the denizens of the sea and the surface widened. although contact between the two people still existed. Naginas Kara follows the story of Hikari Sakishima and Manaka Mukaido, along with their childhood friends Chisaki Hiraidara and Kaname Isaki, who are forced to leave the sea and attend a school on the surface. There, the group also meets Tsumugu Kihara, a fellow student fisherman who loves the sea. Hikari and his friends' lives are bound to change as they have to deal with a deep-seated hatred and discrimination between the people of sea and the surface.
Number
愛してるぜ、カルディア。
愛してる、ルパン。そう、ここからだ。
俺たちが作る新しい世界の。
Within Cardia Beckford's hazy memories, she can recall her father, Isaac, and the home where she lives alone, feared as a monster by the townsfolk, for in her body she carries a deadly substance. Embedded in her chest by her father, the eternally beating heart, also known as horologium, has the capacity to produce infinite power. However, it also makes her skin destroy anything it touches. Many in London seek the horologium, including the terrorist organization Twilight, with whom Isaac is rumored to have close ties. To obtain the horologium's power, the British military forces Cardia to leave her home as their prisoner, but on the road she is whisked away by a gentleman thief Arsène Lupin, who says he will steal her heart. Joining Lupin and his companions, Cardia begins a journey to discover the truth behind Isaac's connection with Twilight, her missing memories, and the horologium within her chest.
Number 1.
ゆういち。
そう。僕たちはこうやって生きていくんだ。
After contracting hepatitis A, Esaki Yuichi has been confined to a hospital, away from his friends and family, much to his displeasure. To relieve his boredom, he has taken to sneaking out of a hospital, usually putting himself on the receiving end of a beating from his nurse. Upon meeting a girl his age, also staying in the hospital, he is immediately captivated by her beauty. Akibarika's personality is not quite as captivating as her beauty, however. In fact, she is rather selfish, moody, and bossy. But as the two spend more time with each other, they become closer, sharing the ordinary joys and trials of budding teenage romance, even when darkened with the impending tragedy. For Rika's condition does not leave her much longer to live.